ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਤਿਨ ਬੇਦੀਆਂ ਕੀ ਕੁਲ ਵਿਖੇ ਪ੍ਰਗਟੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਰਾਏ ਸਭ ਸਿੱਖਨ ਕੋ ਸੁਖ ਦੇਹ ਜੇ ਤੇ ਭੈ ਸਹਾਏ ਸਭ ਸਿੱਖਨ ਕੋ ਸੁਖ ਦੇਹ ਜੇ ਤੇ ਭੈ ਸਹਾਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Alright, how many of you heard me do a talk before? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੀ ਆ। Apart from these 5 people, no one. Alright, does anyone know anything about me? Yeah, what do you know?
Were you on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. Alright, I've written 2 books in 1984. The first one's called Game of Love. It's in the car, I didn't bring it out because I knew people were going to be in. I don't trust you guys. Yeah. Game of Love starts from good man up to the present day, and it's got like same GMA in there. Then the last book I wrote was Reflections on 1984. We wrote that for the 30 years of 1984, and that was like an academic study of what's gone on in the last 30 years as well. So from 84 to 2014. Yeah. But on Akaal Publishers, I post a bit of stuff as well. So this talk, the reason I asked, I'm okay then, because most of you haven't heard it before, so it should be okay. I had changed it as well, so I've done this talk before in the Diwana here as well. So we've got to do Gatha and different programs and stuff like that. But this talk, well, the way I want to do it today is, I want to make it character based, so the talk today will be around the photos of who the people were. So if the topic they gave me, I don't know why in September, yeah, but the topic they gave me is what led to 1984, so June 1984. So I'm going to go through the timeline from 1947 to 1984, the history, the propaganda that the government gave, the truth and what can we do as people. Now before I start, I'm going to say 3 things. There's 3 operations, yeah. Operation Bluestar in 1984, Operation Woodrose and Operation Chanti. Now, they're not going to be in the talk, so I'm doing it now. Operation Bluestar is the attack on the Darbar Sahib. So we're going to get to the point where the Darbar Sahib gets attacked, but not the attack. So that's Operation Bluestar. The government called it Bluestar because they saw Chanti as the blue star of the Qawm. So he would have blew the star, so they called it Operation Bluestar. So their aim was to eliminate Chanti after failed attempts of assassinations as well. So that's Operation Bluestar. After Bluestar, after the 8th of June 1984, the government implemented something called Operation Woodrose. Now, Operation Woodrose is the least talked about in Sikh circles and academia because you can't find anything, because basically the government shut down Punjab for about 3-4 months, whereby no media could go there, and it was an army state, and the army went around villages to villages arresting Amritaris and torturing them possibly as well. So that's Woodrose. So we've got hardly any data on Woodrose and how many people died and what went on. Then after Operation Woodrose, there's something called Operation Chanti. Operation Chanti is actually the genocide of the Sikhs in Delhi after Indira Gandhi gets killed. Now they call it Operation Chanti because what they were going to do, they were going to actually commit a genocide against the Sikhs, but they didn't realise that Indira Gandhi was going to get killed. So all that happens is Operation Chanti is brought forward by the death of Indira Gandhi. So it's very systematically organised. The bill that they get, the tyres that they get, the rods that they get, the people that they get to come in to kill the Sikhs and torture them to death, the raping of Sikhs, marking Sikh houses. So all that in Operation Chanti was pre-planned. Something like that just doesn't happen, and the police are told to go home, the army are told to turn a blind eye as well. I went to Oslo recently in Norway, and when I was there, in the talk that I did there again in 1984, I said to them that Operation Chanti, or you could say the Delhi genocide, is from Indira Gandhi getting killed on the 31st to the 3rd of November. And there was a Sikh there from Delhi, and he said, no, it carried on until the 6th of November. And he said, I can't understand to this day why people keep saying the 3rd of November. And I said, that's because there was a report done by an organisation called PUDL. Yeah, you can find it's called Who Are the Guilty. And in that report, they say it ends on the 3rd of November. So that's a sort of legitimated view. But he said, I lived in Delhi until the 6th of Gandhi. in houses and stuff, people getting killed. So he saw it with his own eyes. Anyway, so those are the 3 operations. They're not going to be covered in the book, that's why I did that now. So the talk, in terms of what goes on, pre-1947, 1947 is the year that India and Pakistan get independence from the British. So prior to that, the Sikhs were involved in the freedom movement of India. But before that happens is the Sikhs, en masse, free the Gurdwara in the 1920s. So the Gurdwara were run by fake Udasis, I'll say, not Udasis, but fake Udasis. So those people who were in the Gurdwara were on a salary from the British, and they were the custodians of the Gurdwara, and they're doing bad things there. So some were drinking alcohol, some had prostitutes there, and they weren't letting the Sikh Sangata get darshan and stuff like that as well, certain points. So what happened is we had 2 things going on for the freedom of the Gurdwara. You had a peaceful movement, so Sikhs peacefully protested. So this is a Bibian, so you can see women protesting en masse. But these are bayonets, so those are British soldiers. Yeah? So the painting you might think it's old, but it's actually this century. That's actually in the Nankana side. That tree's still there till today, where this thing was burnt to life. Yeah? And there's bullet marks still there on the Nankana side in Pakistan. So the Nankana side was saved from Narayana, who was the guy there who ran it, and Sikhs were killed en masse. And the Sikhs at the time decided we're going to protest peacefully, we're not going to pick up arms. It's very easy to go into a fight and know you're going to defend yourself, but actually peacefully protest. And they got murdered en masse on that as well. So these are the other ones as well, they're getting shot at by the British. This is the Punjab side, there's a Attock River, and the train ran over a few of them as well. So there's mass movements, yeah. This one's Jebto, sorry. Jebto the most this one is. So there's mass movements. So the Sikhs mobilised in their thousands to free the Gurdwara. Did it that went to these Gurdwara, peacefully protested, and were beaten down by sticks and things like that. Through those movements, they freed the Gurdwara. Now this is a book, but this photo is from that period. So at that time, a phrase was termed for Akaalis. Now the Akaalis in that time, this time period, basically wore black Dastara. So the black Dastara we wear now really come from that time period. Before that, really, in Sikh history, Sikhs don't wear black turbans at all. And the black turban was worn then as a protest against the British, as a mourning of their Raj. Yes, that's why it got introduced, so they're already in black there. So this was peaceful. Now the guerrilla tactics that emerged at that time were from a group called the Babbar Akaalis. Now the Babbar Akaalis basically went around killing people and fighting against the British, but doing it sporadic hits. Yes, they took up arms. Any movement that the Sikhs have ever been involved in, there's always been a two-pronged attack, a peaceful one and an armed one. So that's what happened here. Now what the Sikhs did is, in the 1920s, they freed all these Gurdwara. The SGPC, which runs the Gurdwara now, in 1925 was then formulated. The Shromani Akali Dal, which is seen as a Sikh party, but most of the time isn't a Sikh party, because they don't go by Sikh ideals, they were also formulated in that time period as well. So if you think that's 1922 to about 1930, India gets independence from Pakistan in 1947. For the next 17 years, or 20 years, from 25 to 47, the Sikhs walked away from the freedom movement. And Mahatma Gandhi actually copies the Sikhs. So Mahatma Gandhi realizes this peaceful movement worked, and he replicates that. So even the freedom of India, even the peaceful part, is from the Sikhs as well. So that's where they replicate it from. Now Sikh sacrifices in the independence of India and Pakistan. 73 of 121 executed were Sikhs. 2,147 of 2,664 life imprisonment were Sikhs. Jallianwala Bagh and the massacre that happened there, if you know what it is, Jallianwala Bagh is like a park area near the Darbar Sahib, near the Darbar Sahib, the Golden Temple. So the bottom, near the McDonald's and the Domino's, that's the best way to describe it nowadays for you. Yeah? So it's in the corner when you go past the Domino's, past McDonald's, straight ahead in front of you, way here in the corner, the Darbar Sahib. The Jallianwala Bagh's there, they had basically, there was a rally there, and the British went in there and started killing everyone, started shooting everyone there. Yeah? And that was a massive thing in India, and that's what led the turn for people turning against the British as well. So even at Jallianwala Bagh, 799 of the people who died were Sikhs out of the 1,302. So if you look at all these figures, the Sikhs are the majority. This is for the freeing of India and Pakistan to get independence. So the Sikhs are the ones giving the Qurbaniya. What do we get back? Yeah? I put this picture up of Mahatma Gandhi. Because if we think of our own culture, and you think of someone who's a celibate who's not getting married, would you see a celibate or a Sant of ours who's not getting married, yeah? A Sant Baba? Would you see him with women like that? Would you see that? Come on, Hasade, yeah? Yes or no? You wouldn't, would you? Yeah? So here he is, yeah? Yeah? But the thing is, that's in the UK, that is as well. Yeah? That's Gorian. Now this is Nehru, Hana. Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India and he was the leader of the Congress Party. But he's also Indira Gandhi's father. Yeah? So Mahatma Gandhi is this peaceful guy, yeah? But he's got a bit of a dodgy character, to be fair, Hana. So I told you the women's side there, yeah? You can look into that yourself, and then his racist views against blacks and other things and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff about him. But what these two people promised the Sikhs in 1947, you got quotes from them on that, they're saying basically the Sikhs will be able to experience global freedom in India, they should join us, they shouldn't go with Pakistan. So they made these promises that they didn't follow through. Yeah? But what I've put on the top, edge from the table, minority. The Sikhs were a minority. So in terms of the discussions, the Muslims are a massive population, Hindus are a massive population, Sikhs 2% of India today. So they were edged from the table from bargaining power and stuff as well. But that was their own fault as well, slightly, because we walked away from the freedom movement as well, slightly. But at the same time, we gave all the Qurbaniya, and we led most of their movements for them, gave them the ideas, and they copied them. But when it came to the actual deals, the Sikhs weren't forceful enough to get what they wanted. So what happens is, this guy you've probably never seen, his name is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He's the first Prime Minister of Pakistan. So he was the guy who led the Pakistan movement to get independence from Pakistan. Now the Sikhs, our leaders at the time were these two guys. Yeah, the top guy is Bluestar Singh. Yeah, the bottom guy is Mahatma Singh. Bluestar Singh becomes the first Defence Minister of India in independence. So obviously, he got something out of it, the deal as well, himself personally. So he got a political seat in the independence of India. Mahatma Singh was the Akali leader at the time. There's a lot's been written by Sikhs, and even like this Godara, most of the time off the stage, our Prajaliks will like completely be disdainful to these two guys, saying they messed it all up. You know, that's Harak. So he put the whole of the blame on them too. Yeah? But Jinnah was saying at the time, come with Pakistan, and what I'll do is, I'll give you a buffer state, I'll give you freedom. You can have your own little land in between Pakistan and India. So that's what Jinnah was saying, but they didn't believe it because they're Muslim. Yeah? So we went with the Hindus instead. It's simple as that. Yeah? And at the end of the day, the way I see Sikh history, Musliman ne jinna kita, unna Hindu ne bhi kita. Cut the donne ekko hi hai. There's no difference between the two. Yeah? So even in that decision, we allowed half of our Godrej to go to Pakistan. To this day, they're in Pakistan. Our time there are going to waste. Yeah? All the history is disappearing from Pakistan. And in the India side, we're knocking it down ourselves anyway. Yeah? Also the minimal work and maintenance, but in India, we just knock it down ourselves and put marble there. Yeah? So these two guys, I personally don't blame them for what happened in independence, because I think they couldn't actually get much out of it anyway. By that time it was too late, and the Sikhs hadn't mobilised themselves. So in independence, what do we actually get, yeah? Our constitution considers you Sikhs, so Sikhs considers you Hindus, sorry, so do we. Why be a minority when the minority can consume you with the love Indian government? That's what happened. Indian constitution were Hindus. So independence, who got independence? You got a majority Hindu state in India with the second biggest population of Muslims, by the way, as well, in the world. Only Indonesia beats India in Muslim population. So even though Pakistan gets created, there's still a massive population of Muslims in India, even though we don't see it because a lot of them live in the south. This is the constitution, 1950 was drafted. Article 25, this is what it says, so it says basically Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists are all Hindus, that's what it says. In 1956, they reorganised the states according to linguistics, so each state, Gujarat gets Gujarati as its main language, and Punjab gets Hindi instead of Punjabi. Yeah? So we get discriminated against them. So what happens is the Sikhs start another struggle called Punjabi Suba struggle, argue to get Punjabi as the language of their own state, which constitutionally should have been anyway. Yeah? So that's what happened in independence. Now then, we got Mahatma Singh again. So the Akali leader, Master Tara Singh, is the one who actually leads the Punjabi super struggle. Yeah, and if you see, look at this photo. These guys got the star on. Yeah, that is it there. And look how they're dragging the protesters. Peaceful protesters. Throughout the history of India, from 1947 to this present day, the majority of the things that you'll see against Sikhs, they'll use so-called Sikh soldiers or Sikh leaders against the Sikhs. Yeah. Master Tara Singh argues to get a Punjab. In 1966, we get a Punjab. But the Punjab we've got today is that Punjab. What happens is, they cut it in half, so you make another state called Haryana. Other areas of Punjab are lost to Himachal Pradesh and UP as well. So you've got a truncated Punjab, which is like tiny in comparison to what it should have been. Then you get the Punjabi language, and even then, at the time, 1960, I think we were probably 60% of the population. Now we're probably not even like leveling out now, because there's many Hindus in Punjab as there is Sikhs now, because the Sikhs keep leaving and Biya Buya and stuff like that. So now the current stats I'm not sure of. And even in Punjab now, even though we got Punjabi language status, what Master Tara Singh had actually argued for, he died in 1966, I think. He didn't get. The Sikhs weren't actually happy with the state because it halved the state in size, and other areas like I live near Ambala when I go to India a lot. And Ambala is all Punjabi speaking, but that's in Haryana now. So the Sikhs were made more of a minority in those states. So for example in Haryana, instead of making Punjabi their second language, they made it Telugu, which is like a Tamil Nadu bully, and only 2% of the population of Haryana speaks that. But just to discriminate against the Sikhs in Haryana, they did that. If you go to Delhi nowadays, Delhi, you'll have Punjabi boards in Delhi, because the second language of Delhi is Punjabi. So you've got all this going on, but yeah, we get discriminated against because we're Sikhs. Alright, here she is, Hannah. Nice fight off the witch. Anyway. So Indira Gandhi, yeah, in the 70s and 80s, she rises to prominence and becomes the Prime Minister. She came to Oxford University and failed. Yeah, didn't pass no exams. Probably went out with a few people who weren't Hindus and stuff. Yeah. Married to a Parsi, Muslim or not, there's controversy, is he a Muslim, is he or not, yeah. But he definitely isn't a Gandhi, that's for sure, I can give you a guarantee of that, yeah. So what they did is, to cover it up, so she was going to get married to this Firozana. They made his name Gandhi, so they gave him a new surname to make it look respectable. So that's how she gets the name Gandhi. Really, her husband's name wasn't Gandhi, yeah. So that's one of the things. In the Bangladesh War for independence, India tacitly supported Bangladesh to get independence, because Bangladesh was actually part of Pakistan, so it's East and West Pakistan. So Indian army and General Sabir Singh, this guy, he actually fought, and he actually cut his gears as well at that time. Yeah, he cut his gears to fight with the Bangladeshis, and he was doing insurgency from within Bangladesh against the Pakistan soldiers, and some of them actually came and joined his side as well. So at that point, this guy, General Sabir Singh as well, he fought in every war that India's fought in, even though World War II as well. From 1947, he fought in every single war. I found a new article on him today on the internet, we'll share that later. But he's Jeevan, so he gets through all this, and then he gets through the Bangladeshi war, he gets a award. This actual photo we've cropped it on this side, there's another guy giving him that painting. Yeah, so he got gallantry awards as well from the army and stuff. And then near the end of his career, they basically, do you want to give him his pension, and sacked him. So he then comes to something else in the late 1970s, this say, on the article I read today, saying 79, 80. But he tried to join the Akalis, but he knew they were fake, so he went to something else and got close to something. Now Indira Gandhi, going back to her, she wasn't actually tyrannical just against the Sikhs. She did it against the whole population. Yeah. So in 1975, she called a state of an emergency, and in that state of emergency, she said, the population's out of control for India, birth control's out of hand, and we need to control the population or we're going to get into poverty, and we're going to have a famine. And she also said we're under threat from getting attacked from Pakistan and another war. So she suspended her whole cabinet, threw all the opposition in jail. I haven't got it in this presentation, there's a photo of Modi as well, Narendra Modi wearing the star and a Zara. And that's how he survived in the emergency. He actually dressed up like a saint to not get arrested. Yeah? So for 19 months, it was like an army state, the whole of India was. But during those 19 months, yeah, Sikhs, 50,000 Sikhs caught to arrest, And all the national press of India at that time is saying Sikhs are the last bastion of freedom for India, because no one else stood up against the Indian state, only the Sikhs did. But then as part of this population control, thousands of people forcibly sterilised. And if you know what India, how it works, if you're green, you're on the bottom of the pile. So they had quotas to go into areas to sterilise people who had more than 2 children and things like that. And it was the green people who always got forcibly sterilised to fulfil the quotas, because they didn't have money to pay off the officers and stuff like that. So she did that against the whole of the population of India. It wasn't just the Sikhs. So that's from 1975 to about 77, and she loses the election as well. So for 19 months she run the country by decree. And the reason she did that as well, she lost a court case and she was going to get jailed. She was going to get done for election fraud. So that's what happened. Part of that time period, Sankartar Singh is the guy who actually does these protests. Yeah? He leads all the protests, and he does 70 Nagar Kirtans, so 37 Nagar Kirtans to protest against the emergency. And that's where the 50,000 Sikhs got arrested. The Akali Dal also, at the time, they also do the protests with Sankartar Singh. And then, like now, people ask today, why did Sankartar Singh go and sit at the bar side? That's the one question that people always ask. Why did Sankartar Singh go and sit at the bar side? But why don't you go and ask the Akali Dal during the emergency, why did they go and sit at the bar side? For those 19 months, all the Akali Dal leadership was sitting at the bar side. No one asked that question. Yeah? So you got Sankartar Singh. Alongside that, you had a guy called Bhai Fauja Singh, who was a leader, but very small following at the time, Anna. He got more prominence, to be fair, after he got Shaheed. But Bhai Fauja Singh, Redwan Gursikh, quite strict in his living and stuff like that. He ran Gurmat camps at a farm he had on a Akaal farm. And all the guys that was close to him, they became the founding members of a Jathagandhi called Akaal. Yeah? So alongside this, we have this guy, yeah, looks like a bit of a joke here. Gurbachana. He was the founder Gari leader. Yeah? He was sacrilegious towards Guru Granth Sahib, to the extent of saying that he put his foot on Guru Granth Sahib as well. Yeah? So he did really bad things, and on Vaisakhi 1978 they had a program in a stadium in Amritsar. And in that stadium, these things, with Bhai Fauja Singh, from Singh went down. Sankartar Singh passes away in 1977, yeah? Sankartar Singh is the leader before Sant Janal Singh, or the Dhamma Kasal. So Sankartar Singh passes away in 1977. Sant Janal Singh then becomes the leader of the Kasal. Bhai Fauja Singh leads the Singh to peacefully protest against this guy. 13 of them get Shaheed on Vaisakhi 1978. Yeah? 1981 82, he gets shot dead, yeah? You can search it, the Outlook India article about it, how professional the hit was as well, and they can't understand how the two things did it, and they got away as well. Anyway, now Sankartar Singh, with these protests, the protest was around Guru Tegh Bahadur Shaheed Dipur, yeah, because I think it was 300 years or 350 years, yeah. But so a lot of the protests and stuff they did was around Guru Tegh Bahadur Shaheed Dipur, and Sankartar Singh at the time, they had a program in Delhi, and Indira Gandhi came to that program, Sikhs program, and some of the Sikh leadership stood up when Indira Gandhi walked in. Sankartar Singh didn't, and then she went on the stage and said, I'm willing to give anything to the Sikhs and things like that. The recording for this is actually in Wolverhampton at someone's house. He won't give us the schools at the moment, but one day he might just take them off him, but you can't get the recording off him at the moment. But the recording's there, and Sankartar Singh goes on the stage and says, Indira Gandhi, you're the leader of India, but you wouldn't have no leadership, you had no India if you wasn't for Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur. If Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur hadn't given their Shaheedi, you would have no Hinduism left. Yeah? So you can't come here and say to us, what do we want of you? You should be saying to us, what can we give to you? Because you can't give us nothing. So Sankartar Singh went against Indira Gandhi, won in the emergency and threw up this program as well, openly and blatantly. Now the Sikhs had other problems as a population. Yeah? So alcohol abuse in the population, we've got that now. Yeah? So they say there's 5 rivers in Punjab, but the 6 ones of alcohol now, yeah? Minority status in the whole of India, yeah? Legally we're discriminated against, there was no Marriage Act at the time as well, lots of Punjabi against Punjabi Suba. Attacks on our faith, so the government on purpose promote groups like the Fight Nirankaris, Darshan Dasis, Radha Swamis, yeah? This is Satya Sodha guy now, yeah? He's just got done. The government, the ones who actually protect these people. So even if you look at Satya Sodha one recently, he done his film Messenger of God, the first one. The Sikhs protested and broke the billboards in the film. Messenger of God 2, when he did the second release of the second film, in Punjab, during the sort of Sikh party rule, yeah, the Akali Dal rule of Badal, the Punjab police stood under his billboards so no one could attack the billboards. Yeah? That's the protection that these people get. Whereas Guru Granth Sahib Biadbi, even now, every week we've got cases. They're not coming to the media now, but we've still got cases every week in Punjab of Biadbi happening. Yeah? So we have like 6 or 7 cases every month still. I can give you all the locations, just one phone call, yeah? So this happened, this is all going on, so these are all the challenges. Sikhs got openly killed in their own holy city in Amritsar against the fake Nirankaris. And it's the audacity of doing it on Vaisakhi as well. And in Amritsar. So they come to your own hometown and do it in front of you. Yeah? I listened to a recording of Chanti Singh today. It's a 3-4 minute clip. And Chanti Singh talks about the Nirankari leader, this guy who got killed, yeah? After him, his son was appointed. And his son, yeah, because we say his son was okay, only Nani Kita. After he gets killed, Chanti Singh in this speech saying, his son is now sat on a stage and got a hawk to sit on his wife's head and said, "E Bajaliya." Yeah? So making a comparison to Guru Gobind Singh, but he put the barge on her head, yeah, and said, "E Bajaliya." Yeah? Same to his wife as well, to top it all off, not even himself. Yeah? So these are the sort of things, and that's after we've killed his dad. Yeah? So that's after Biden is saying by Gawal Singh kill him, yeah? His son still does that straight away. He's passed away now as well. He passed away in a car accident. Huh? Anyway, Punjab, Green Revolution, yeah? Punjab became the breadbasket of India. It no longer is. Get over that. Yeah, it no longer is. It was for a while, it's no longer. What they've done is they've drained Punjab of its resources, of its water, of everything, and developed other states. So Punjab no longer. So we had a Green Revolution. So at the time, you were providing 60% of all the wheat for India from Punjab. But the Sikhs wanted economic justice, so recompense for that anad that they were giving. Yeah, so state growth grew a bit, yeah, but there was a lot of unemployment as well. But lack of inward investment from the centre, so they weren't giving us money. Now the river waters, Bias and Ravi, they get diverted to other states. Punjab is a river water state. International law says you can't give the water of one state to the other one unless you recompense that state. So Punjab's water gets sent to Haryana, gets sent to Delhi, gets sent to desert land in Rajasthan, and irrigates those lands. Yet now in Punjab, we help out a dera. I got a phone call last week saying that board got together. 200 foot they took board banana 50,000 rupees paid. Yeah, so 50,000 rupees in a day just to fix the water supply for one place. These people who are now farmers, they're committing suicide because there's land, because they use surface water in Punjab, and the surface water has gone so far below. You can even go on Google Maps here and see the water levels, yeah, and you'll see that Punjab in 20-30 years is going to be a desert. That's what's going to happen. And we're still carrying on doing the same stuff that's going on because the people who are there, the farmers, they're either in debt or they're committing suicide because they can't carry on paying for their stuff. So legislation and rights as well. These are all the issues pre-84, this is by the way, yeah? Nationally, what they made it out to be is the Sikhs are troublemakers and they keep asking for these things and they're causing problems for the whole of India. So we should give the water to other states and not take any money because the water flows from the top, from Kashmir and stuff. So really, that's a natural flow of water. It doesn't matter if it gets sent to other states. Yeah? We should give the rest of India food because the rest of India needs it, and it doesn't matter as people came out give back the Khalan. So that's the sort of philosophy that they were implementing at the time. Yeah? Now the brains. Yeah? Now again, like I said, I'm going to change it this time. So this guy, Sardar Kapoor Singh, very intellectual Gursikh. We as Akaal now, especially now, yeah, a lot of hatred for the word missionary. Yeah? The missionaries as a mission were very good, and some of them are still good because they're intellectuals. That's their role and function, to actually be intellectual people. The problem is we've got like 3 or 4 missionaries who are really bad. We've gone against Guru Gobind Singh, gone against Amrit, so we've like dated the word missionary now. So this guy, very intellectual guy, fought with Sanjana Singh. Sanjana Singh took a lot of slaves from Sardar Kapoor Singh. Sardar Kapoor Singh wrote a document, and it was this document that was the basis of the whole of the movement before 1984. Yeah? Now that's this document, not the Sahib resolution. So Sardar Kapoor Singh is the person who writes that. So he's done a lot of writing. I actually found a speech of his today as well on the internet because I was quite shocked. So you can get audio of him as well, about 20-minute speech. But he writes this resolution. In October 1973, he was sent to the Akalis. 1978, they slightly changed it, and the Akalis pass it as a resolution as a party that they're going to pursue this. Now the Anandpur Sahib resolution is a massive document, yeah? But in summary, it's asking for more freedom for the Sikhs within India. So it's not asking for Khalistan, it's saying, like the US, federal states, the central only intervenes in certain things and the Sikhs can sort of rule their own state more independently, yeah? And bringing together Sikh populations outside of Punjab. So true federal system, get fair distribution of the water in Punjab, make Chandigarh the capital, which is still being debated with Haryana to this day. Economic reforms, yeah, so even unemployment benefit and things like that were suggested, and a stock exchange. And minorities quotas removed from armed services, so the Sikhs can join the army more than their population represents, because we're a martial race, but still that wasn't allowed as well. Now, Sant Lal Singh, from Baba Deep Singh, the Damdibit Taksal had as a lineage of leaders. Now, I'm raising this point because people are saying Sant Lal Singh's a liar. And to this day, it's become a very prevalent thing in Akaal now to say this lineage of the Taksal is a fallacy, they've made it up. And the reasoning they give for that is they say Damdibit Taksal as a word doesn't exist in history prior to this century. Yeah, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean that the Jathebandi doesn't exist. An organisation can change its name. Yeah, so in the past it was called Gyani Ali Sampradaya. So all the leaders, Sant Lal Singh says in his own speeches that I'm in place of Baba Deep Singh. Yeah, so we either accept Sant Lal Singh's view or we say he's a liar. It's simple as that. And now the reason we do that is because theologically and historically, if we accept Sant Lal Singh actually is a leader, died from Baba Deep Singh from the time of the Gurus, and their Sikhi is the pristine Sikhi of the past, then we have to accept everything that Sant Lal Singh believes in. So here, in this same lecture theatre, a year ago, I can't remember now, roughly a year ago, they put me on a panel here on a Dasam Granth debate. Yeah, to this day, yeah, they haven't put the videos on the internet. Yeah, I just like a digger there, yeah, because there's so much of a kick-off in this God about doing Dasam Granth Prakash. And he wasn't even done Brabber anyway. And then top it all off, this Godhar was the first Godhar in the UK that did the whole of Dasam Granth Santya. It's never been done in the UK. This is the only Godhar that's done it. Yeah, so politics with a small p on it. And then people say, we believe, they put photos of Sant Lal Singh on their conventions and stuff. I see Sant Lal Singh, this was their career. Then when you say Sant Lal Singh believed in this, people, no, we don't believe in that. Yeah? Anyway, I have to put that in there, sorry. Yeah? So Sant Lal Singh, the Ungari clash happens and rises to prominence, yeah? Leader of the Taksal spoke against discrimination against the Sikhs, yeah, and Sikhs being enslaved. So in his speeches, that's what Sant Lal Singh says. At the time, people thought he was a bit crazy, because they said, this is happening to us. So Sikhs didn't believe it, but when it happened to him afterwards, then they realised that everything he said was actually prophetic. So if it was happening in some people's lives, it wasn't, but other people realised. Now, in 1981, Sant Lal Singh court's arrest, Lala Jagdan Narayan is shot dead. Lala Jagdan Narayan was the editor or the proprietor for a group of papers called the Hind Samachar Group, and they were putting up very inflammatory statements against the Sikhs. So Gas Ganga Kapan, Pejlo Pakistan and things like that, yeah? And writing against the Sikhs. And he was killed in 1981, the journalist was. And in that murder inquiry, Sant Lal Singh gets arrested. Sant Lal Singh court's arrest voluntarily. And when he court's arrest, Singhs are killed on that day as well. Shot dead for no apparent reason by the army or the police. Yeah? So he's got a face off with the government for Sikh rights, because he's speaking openly, yeah, and he's not backing down. So this is from 1978, he rises, 1981 that happens, and then from 1981, 82 he goes to the outside. Now these are the other figures in all this story, yeah? So Shir Bhai Amrik Singh was the leader of an organisation called the All India Sikh Students Federation. They were the feeder organisation for the whole of the movement prior to 1984. So all the numbers came through that, so all the students and all these came through that. But if we think of our student organisations in the UK now, Sikh student organisations, we basically beg people to join the Sikh societies, give them this, give them that, small set hello, yeah, whatever it may be, yeah, to bribe them to come. Bhai Amrik Singh became the leader of the federation, and he made it a rule that you can only join the federation if you're Amritari. Yeah, because that's the level that these people are living in at. We can't do that. Yeah, ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਬਾਕੀ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡੋ. Yeah, ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕੇ ਹੋਣੇ. Yeah, but they could do that because that's how much they were converting people into Sikhi and doing it. Yeah, that's the level they were at. Baba Thana Singh was a Taksala Singh. He was like the Jathedar of the Dera, the headquarters of the Taksal. What happens is, as part of this journalist murder, Hannah, Lala Jagta Narayan, yeah, what happens is Lala Jagta Narayan gets killed, Santi Lal Singh's released from jail, but they're not making any inroads into finding out who killed him. So what they do is they pick up Harjinder Singh and Mahatma Singh, yeah, and they arrest them. When they arrest them, what happens then is, Harjinder Singh, yeah, they arrest him, yeah. They then, the Sengs of the Akaal and the Sikh Federation, they start doing peaceful protests against the government to get Mahatma Singh and Harjinder Singh freed from jail. So they might do a roadblock, they might stop a train. So they start doing this, yeah. And it starts mobilising the Sikh masses. So a bit like the Godda Freedom Movement, starts mobilising thousands of Sikhs, yeah. Now during this period, the leader of the Shromani Akali Dal was Harjinder Singh Longowal. I won't call him Sant because I don't think he was a Sant. Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah. So Longowal was the leader of the Shromani Akali Dal. Yeah. What happens is this freeing of Harjinder Singh and Mahatma Singh from jail snowballed into what was called the Tamyud Morcha. Now the Tamyud Morcha was fighting for this. Where's it gone? Anti-Islam resolution. So the Tamyud Morcha said basically, as Sikhs we want these things in Punjab, but the Akali Dal are always good in opposition. When they come into power, they're not good. So the Congress is ruling Punjab at the time, yeah. So the Akali Dal are saying we want the Anandpur Sahib resolution implemented in Punjab, and then they start doing the mass movement of peaceful protest. The Akali Dal had no inkling of how to get the mobilisation of the Sikh masses. So as that, they copied that method and started doing it. As part of that, Sant Janal Singh Pindrawale starts doing the speeches that we all heard at Manji Sahib and getting people to court arrest. So even the leader of the can't keep the fire arms in this photo and got caught in arrest, Baba Harnam Singh Rampur Kherial. So everyone across the camp, apart from Buddhalal Santa Singh, everyone else participates in that. Hana? So what happens is Sant Janal Singh and Sant Longowal. Sant Janal Singh in the speech he says Longowal is the dictator of the Morcha. So he's saying I'm not the leader of it. Sant Janal Singh saying that. Yeah? 250,000 Sikhs caught arrest before 1984 for the June 1984 attack. Yeah, so 250,000 people caught arrest, peacefully protesting for this. Yeah. Now, the Sikh Federation again, there was someone called Harjinder Singh Sandhu. Now, very controversial afterwards within the Sikhs because the Sikhs killed him themselves, yeah, in 1990. But Sandhu, if you look back at Sant Janal Singh's recordings, he's the guy who's fluent in English. He translates and interprets for Sant Janal Singh in interviews with English people, yeah. And he was very astute and intellectual, and he gets arrested in the 1984 attack. This is Bibi of Karpur, and we've changed the image of her. You can get real images of her as well. But Bibi of Karpur was the leader of the federation, but the women's wing. Yeah, so she did speeches and stuff as well. So these people, alongside the president, who's Harjinder Singh, they ran the mobilisation of the mass Sikh students and the Sikh youth, filtering them into the movement and getting them involved with Sant Janal Singh and stuff and doing camps and stuff. Yeah. Now, alongside this, like I said at the start of the talk, during the British, we had two movements, yeah? So we had a peaceful movement and we had an armed movement called the Babbar Akalis. Prior to 1984, we also had a peaceful movement, but also a violent movement, yeah? Now the violence, or the assassinations, was carried out by two organisations, Babbar Khalsa and the Smirsh Regiment. But to this day, the Smirsh Regiment were that good, and still are that good, that no one really knows who the Smirsh Regiment was, yeah? Because that's how well they operated. So Sant Janal Singh was calling hits for the Smirsh Regiment, but no one ever used to find out who actually did them. There's 2 or 3 guys who are alive, but they won't speak openly. Yeah, there's a few of them who are still alive who know who did what. Hana. So as part of the Smirsh Regiment, by Manveer Singh Jeheru, Hana, more than likely, yeah. If you see the photos, like you see this Chadar, yeah. Behind this Chadar is the same Chadar there, yeah, there. On the same day, they all took photos in one place, yeah. So you see all these photos. There's even a guy in Smedic who took a photo and there's a kid down on the Chadar. Yeah, there's one guy here. But the thing is, so all these photos were taken on the same day, in the same Chadar, in the same location. Yeah? But these guys, so Manveer Singh Jeheru was possibly involved in the assassinations. Babu Mamachar found out last week, I read an interview by someone, he was actually involved in one of the movements as well. Sodhi definitely was, by Harjinder Singh Sodhi. Sant Janal Singh saw him as his right arm. Yeah? But he could do amazing things. Like he could drive anything, he could fly a plane, fly a helicopter, fire any arms. he could actually fly an anti-tank missile as well. But he was the only Singh who could fire an anti-tank missile. So in the attack, they had the anti-tank missile, but he got shaheed in April, so no one could use it. So if he'd been alive in the attack, he would have blown up the tanks as well. This is General Lab Singh. Now the reason I put this photo in here is because this is prior to the attack as well. So these Singhs could have also been part of the Smith regiment. Yeah. So this is also linking these people, but we can't really say that. General Lab Singh gets caught in the attack as well, and he's in a room. So during the attack, he gets caught, Hannah. He became the leader of Khalistan Commando Force. So Bajrangbir Singh founded it, and then General Lab Singh was the next leader of it. But these Singhs are sitting here. Possibly they could have been involved in it. Now these Singhs at the bottom, these Singhs are sort of seen as the founders of Upper Khalsa. This is on a yatra at the side. So this Singh is by Kulwant Singh Nagoke, who got tortured to death, and Santanal Singh speaks about him as well. This is by Dalwinder Singh Babbar, who was from Canada. This is by Vadawa Singh Babbar, who's the first leader of Upper Khalsa. Yeah? And some of the other Singhs, but some Masheed as well. Now, Babbar Khalsa was possibly 10 to 15 Singhs who were actually doing movements, but they were all working in cahoots. So all these Singhs prior to 1984 were working together to assassinate people who were against the Khan. Yeah? So they were working together. They didn't have the differences and fallout points yet. But Santanal Singh Singhs, there was a lot more because of the Federation and other things, but Babbar Khalsa just starting out then. The Babbar Khalsa came really from by Fauja Singh in terms of the people who were close to him, yeah? So the Babbar Khalsa Singhs at the time, they were quite small in numbers, but they were there, yeah? So that went on, but let me be clear, the Indian government makes this out to be a massive violence problem. So if you look at the report, Punjab agitation, 1984, June, July, it's printed in, so it's a white paper. We've got it scanned in if you want it, yeah? But in there, a list of crimes, no names for the people who were suspected of doing those crimes, no names, no arrest warrants. So even though we know, talking to these things while they were alive or someone was still got shaheed and stuff, we know what some of the moves that they pulled. But at the time, the government had no proof for anything. So to say there's a massive problem, there actually wasn't. They were killing a few people here and there, with a few guerrilla hits on it, nothing major. Now during this period, yeah, there's two other organisations, Dal Khalsa and Council of Khalistan. In the Indian propaganda, you'll get these organisations mentioned time and over again. Again, Dal Khalsa was a very small organisation starting out, but they were openly Khalistani prior to 1984. Santanal Singh wasn't openly Khalistani or no pushing Khalistan. Dal Khalsa was. Bhai Gajinder Singh was the leader of Dal Khalsa for many years. He lives in Pakistan. You can type in Gajinder Singh on Facebook, you'll find his profile, you can speak to him. Yeah? But anyway, Bhai Gajinder Singh, in 1981, when Santanal Singh gets arrested, Bhai Gajinder Singh, with another 4 Singhs, hijacks a plane in protest against Santanal Singh getting arrested. He hijacks a plane, goes to Pakistan, he gets arrested there with the other 4 Singhs. Since then, he's lived in Pakistan, he's never come back to India. He's free now, he lives openly, you know. So, like I said, you can speak on Facebook if you really want to, you know. You won't get tracked. Yes? But anyway, Bhai Gajinder Singh, yeah, he's no longer the Dal Khalsa leader, because he relinquished leadership about 5-10 years ago, I think it was, but he's there. Now, Bhai Gajinder Singh, when they did the hijacking, Santanal Singh goes on the speeches and says, look, if Singhs hijacked a plane and were arrested and made out to be terrorists because they hijacked a plane because of me, when Indira Gandhi was going to get arrested for a court case, her leadership hijacked a plane also, but they were free from jail. So it's a direct comparisons of discrimination. Now this guy, I was very happy to find this photo on the internet, I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie, yeah, because he's very unknown in the movement, yeah. There was an organisation called the Council of Khalistan. Now the Council of Khalistan, a lot of you are young, so you're not going to know, and there's a guy called Tunda, we used to call him Tunda. Tunda is someone who's got a limb missing, and his name was Jagjit Singh Chauhan. He lived in the UK as well. Now Tunda set up the Council of Khalistan in India prior to 1984, and they got this guy involved, Balbir Singh Sandhu. Balbir Singh Sandhu basically committed his life to the movement from about 1982, left home and hearth, and he only had daughters as well. So he got 5 daughters on her, and he never went back home. Now Balbir Singh Sandhu committed his life to the movement, and the Council of Khalistan hoisted the Khalistan flag in Darbar Sahib as well. Now these are 2 very small organisations, no real influence in the movement, yeah, at the time, prior to 84. They did a lot of good stuff by Gajinder Singh, got a lot of respect for him and Sandhu as well. But really, the Indian government made that actually a massive issue, the Khalistan Mangadea. Yeah? So there's always been elements of both their organisations of people we don't really trust. There's a guy in the UK called Tekila, we don't really trust that guy. He's always been a part of the Khalsa. Yeah, he's a very dubious character. Yeah, and even within the same sort of alludes to that, saying he's dubious, I don't trust him. Yeah. Now, Balbir Singh Sandhu also, he fought in the attack to the 5th of June and left on the 5th of June. Gabbar Khalsa Singh's majority left on the 5th of June as well, the night of the 5th of June. Sandhu goes straight to Pakistan. He never came back to India, and he passed away a few years ago. You can Google it, you'll find out the date possibly. You know? So Sandhu never came back to India, and he died there, an old man, decrepit. Yeah? So he gave his whole life to the movement. So these people, they gave a lot for the movement. So even Harjinder Singh now, he won't come back to India, and someone asks him, why don't you come back to India? He says, look, my mama ne bahut tode a movement to make it that get mona jama. So he's basically saying, I got kids of people's sons to give Shahidiyat. How can I go back to India? He's done his time in Pakistan, he can come back. Sandhu as well, Sandhu swore at Dunda towards the end of his life, saying, I got screwed in by the Council of Khalistan leadership and they were all fake, because Jagjit Singh Chauhan leaves the UK and goes back to India in 97, I think. Yeah? So some people, a lot of you in this room won't know this stuff, huh? But anyway, this guy, General Sinha, yeah, if you Google it, yeah, put Kanwar Sandhu in. Kanwar Sandhu interviewed him. Yeah? This guy was basically tabled to become the leader of the armed forces prior to 1984. He talks frankly about the 1984 attack. And in 1981, when Santanal Singh court's arrest, Butta Singh, see Singh as well, see, yeah, who's the Congress leader for Punjab at the time, he phones him up and says, I think it's Butta Singh, Chief Minister said, there's two of them, I can't remember the names on that. But anyway, he gets a phone call from Butta Singh saying, we need tanks. And he says, what for? He goes to arrest Santanal Singh. He says, you don't need tanks to arrest Santanal Singh. You're going to Mecca? He goes, yeah. He goes, just take some guns. He goes, all they got is rifles. Yeah. So he says, no, I'm not giving you tanks. Yeah. Indira Gandhi comes to him and says, you want to attack the Darbar side? He said, fine. You want to attack the Darbar side? Why are you going to attack it? You want to arrest Santanal Singh? He said, okay then. We'll all do this, yeah. We'll go to the Darbar side. We'll do it live on TV. We'll set a Darbar outside the clock tower entrance. So put one of the sloops there, do Prakash, we'll matha there, and we'll do a loudspeaker announcement to say to the Santanal Singh in the sense to come out. And we won't go in. And we'll put it all live on TV. Indira Gandhi says no. Yeah, this is all on his interview. So he says all this blatantly. Then he never got promoted as well. Yeah, he died I think about a year ago. Yeah, so this is all on interview. So all the advice that he gave, they went against. So here's a guy, yeah, decorated guy from the Indian Army, gave the right view and they didn't listen to anything he said. So they could have avoided it if they followed his advice. But they were hell-bent on attacking the Sikhs. Now agreeing the attack here. So they got these three Ronnies, yeah? Brad, yeah? No, Brad, he says Mandeep Singh, Bahadur Singh, and the other two people, and I can't remember the names now, yeah? When they attacked him in London, in his interviews with the news, he says, oh, I fought back. I'm a trained army person and I fought back. He didn't fight back. When he got stabbed in the neck, he actually fell like a log. He actually played dead. Yeah. So when he got stabbed, he actually fell. Yeah, it's all in the court papers. Yeah. He fell, and the saying is when they'd already stabbed him and he fell on the floor, they're like, what's happened here? Yeah. So, and then they tried to attack him, and then some security guards came and they turned off. Yeah. So that's Barar, yeah. He lives on an army base in Bombay, yeah. That's Vedya. Vedya was killed by Sukhan afterwards. I think this might be Sundarji. Sundarji, if you look at his photos when he died, he's on life support and his body is basically just like a skeleton, yeah, Pinjara Banaya, and he suffered. There's another guy who's a Sikh, yeah. Ranjit Singh Dayal, he's not in this photo, he died a few years ago. He was in Bluestar, he was one of the generals as well. So these generals agreed to attack, and they started planning it way before 1984. So they made models of Chakrata Hills, of the Darbar Sahib, and trained on it and things like that, yeah? Now, so that's the Indian Army role, yeah? The Akali Dal banned Santanal Singh from the stage from 1984. You will not find a speech of Santanal Singh speaking at Manji Sahib. All Santanal Singh's speeches are up to December 1983. So why did they ban Santanal Singh? Yeah? And then, Sodhi's assassination, the Akali Dal actually called it. Sodhi gets assassinated at Santanal Singh's right arm. This is the guy who's going out assassinating people at will and coming back, yeah? And Sodhi gets assassinated, and the person who assassinated Sodhi was going to assassinate Sant next. That was the plan. Yeah? And then Santilal Singh said, my right arm's been cut off today. He sort of get assassinated. And then the speeches towards the end in May 1984, with Santilal Singh going all against the Akaal, all hell bent against the Longowal and everyone. Because they killed Sudhi. Yeah, Santilal Singh still didn't call a hit on them, but they killed the people who did the actual assassination. They didn't kill the people who masterminded it in the Sayana. But in 24 hours, they killed all the people involved in the assassination. They wrote it on the wall, in 24 hours, we're going to kill everyone, and they did. Yeah? So, and then, so the Akaal, I will say this, they actually told the government to attack. Yeah? Because what happened was, everyone tried to play Santilal Singh. The Congress thought they could use him as a tool and get him to use against the Akalis because they knew he was a hardliner. The Akalis used Santilal Singh and Longowal did in the Danyal Morcha. When they found out that they can't control him, he's a complete independent person. Yeah? And for any Sikh leader, yeah, to go on record, you will not find Santilal Singh being hypocritical or going against any word he says on stage or any interview. You won't find anyone ever catches him out. As the Pracharak, 10 saal pehla gal, I get to spread sige hon hai nahi. Yeah? As the Pracharak change every 5 minutes in the wind, huh? But this is the political leaders are, and this is the whole media, it's the world media on Santilal Singh, but not one person goes here or there. Fake hysteria, mass violence in Punjab. If you read my book, Reflections on 1984, if you want to do the easy version, yeah, just Google it, yeah, and you get the Google pages on it. You just keep reading on, then just do the searches. Yeah, give you a free option on it. Yeah, but I'll put the stats in there. So comparably, the violence in Punjab wasn't any more than any other state. Yeah, and they're making out that Punjab's on fire, and if we don't sort out Punjab, the whole of India is going to crumble, and they're going to get Khalistan. I remember a Pakistani guy, you know, he did a speech in Council House here in Birmingham a couple of years ago. And he said, how many square foot is the website? How are they going to announce Khalistan in such a small building? How are they setting up a country in such a small building? It's not possible, it's not feasible, because how stupid is this argument? Yeah? And then preparations. Yeah? There's a movement within the Sikhs, yeah, that we love the communists, especially the Cuban communists, yeah? Che Guevara and Fidel and stuff like that. Read Fidel's writings about Indira Gandhi. Look at the very fan, see? Fidel Castro says she's like a sister to me, Indira Gandhi is. Even Yasser Arafat, we support the Palestinians. Yasser Arafat, pro-Indira Gandhi. Now I'm not saying they were pro-anti-Sikh, but the thing is the whole of the world political leadership was behind Indira Gandhi and support of what she was doing in India. Because the way the media was controlled at the time, that's what they did. Margaret Thatcher, yeah, she did call in the SAS. What shocked me the most was a few years ago when it came out, oh, it's been proven that the British SAS was involved. And I was like, that was said in 1984. That was Mary Ann Weaver said it in the press then, so it was like nothing new to us, but it's like, what's the big deal now? And now they've destroyed the papers, that's what governments do. Yeah? So that happened, so people helped and prepared to attack the Bluestar. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, the Israelis helped crush the Khalistan movement as well. Yeah? They taught the Indian government how to kill the Sikhs, how to do the army in the way that they did the Palestinians. So from 1604 till today, it's our heartbeat, the Bluestar. It's the centre of the Sikhs. They thought the force of Hashtak, the rest is history, but they were wrong. So June 1984, in October 1983, President's rules called in Punjab. A lot of people have got Gianni Zalsing, who was the President of India, and saying that he called the army in. But that idiot, yeah, signed an ordinance in 1983 saying that they can call in the army whenever they want. So they didn't even need to go to him. Yeah, he's written his own book, the memoirs, and in the memoirs he told the truth what happened in Delhi and in 1984 and how the government attacked the Bluestar and didn't give any warning. But all the engineer, anybody else, yeah, that he couldn't release that book while he was alive. So the book gets released after he dies, which has got the truth in it. I've got the book at home, a copy of it. But anyway, we've said this about the plannings. But Sikhs prepared as well. We're not going to lie. General Subirg Singh did the preparations. The article I read today about General Subirg Singh is crazy because point by point, strategically, it goes through how the Sikhs defended the Bluestar and the different army general, the different units of the army that came into the Bluestar and how they attacked them and how the black uniforms would stand out during the day and they just picked them off and picked them off to the extent that they had things built into the floor so when anyone walked in, they could just shoot at them upwards. And they couldn't do nothing, and they're just getting killed, helter-skelter. So the article I read today about General Subirg Singh was saying all that stuff on it, and how all his whole army career. It never took a standoff. Sant Nelson said 1983 जेल दिन इतने फौज आ गई खालिस्तान नहीं रखी रही. Sant Nelson knew. Sant Kartar Singh did the argument before that. Sant Kartar Singh, this 18 Singhs in the Taksal who got trained for Sant Kartar Singh's time, and they all fought in the attack and got shahid. They were trained by an army general from that time on. It was from 1977. Media blackouts, yes, it wasn't like today. There's only one channel in India, Doordarshan. And what they were doing is, they knew there was an election around the corner, they wanted Indira Gandhi to win the election. And in the Bangladesh war, they made out Indira Gandhi as Durga, like the goddess of war, and she can take on anything. So they made out the Sikhs are the biggest threat to India, and Durga as Indira Gandhi can take it on. Yeah? So this is what one of the army generals said. Now, we went inside with humility in our hearts and prayers on our lips, yeah? But look at all the dead, huh? To this day, we have no idea of how many people got shaheed there. 70, 80 Singhs we know of. We've got the photos, we know who they are. But there's 5,000 people. Possibly even more. We have no idea. Yeah? We're on 33, 34 years on, we built a yardgar, which is basically a camera. An Indian army general said to me a few years ago in India, he said that yardgar is not a yardgar until they put every single name on there. And that's the Indian army general. He'd only just retired. I was sitting in his Lal Bhakti Gaddi, yeah, got a few government links ago. Yeah. But we're never going to know how many people died there. And that's the fault of us as well. We gave money to Solar Godra to put the sauna back on. That किसी ने सेवा करनी सीखी. I'm not having to go Solar to Nishkam as a jatha. We need to do the God seva, but we haven't preserved anything either. It's a two-pronged thing, you know? So we've destroyed all our history. So we'll go back to the start of the talk. Then Ghana side, the bullet holes are still there. The tree's still there. The whole of the God that's been raised and rose again, you know? And even the whole of the perimeter of the bar side has been grazed. And we know the architects and the way they've designed the whole of the design of all the parks and everything. So if they ever come in again, they can attack safely. And even that front thing they've got at the front, yeah, is basically basements underneath that. And they can set up a whole command centre underneath there. And the front of the bar side, that's government land. It's not owned by the SGPC. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff still going on and we're still oblivious to it. What can we do today? Yeah, one, education. Out of 50 books, yeah, you're going to get one or two that tell you the truth on 1984. Because that's a propaganda machine that the Indian government put in place. To the extent that today, you've got people like Harjinder Singh who live around the corner from here, who are pro-movement, who are now going against all of it. Yeah? So there's people like that as well, intellectuals, isn't it? Remember, we can't forget. If we say, why do we go to London? Why do we go to Hyde Park? Why do we go there? Because it's the biggest protest in the world. You haven't been to the bars happened in June 1984. I have. I've been with the bars there. Yeah, there's only about 2,000 people there. You have more people in London. Yeah, we can't forget. We've got to carry on. It doesn't matter if you waste thousands of pounds to go on a coach. The Indian embassy in India, the day that finishes, they're happy because that's one thing in their thorn in their back. And if it means waste, at the end of the day, if we've got a wolf at the door, we're going to fight that wolf together. And that's why we've got to view it. Fight for our rights. Yeah. Go to India. Don't build a butty. Nakalalo. Yeah, help some common people there. Help them with their real issues. You don't have to help Jathagan, yeah. You can help normal people, drug centres and stuff like that. Punjab just direct, yeah. You got people getting high, yeah. What they do is they keep their socks for a month. Yeah, it's disgusting, yeah. They keep their socks for a month, yeah, and then put them in water, boil the water, and then take that to get high. That's what they do. You're laughing, yeah, but that's how desperate they are to get high. You know what's on the internet, yeah, you go on Facebook, whatever, yeah, all these things going on, yeah, it's a mess, yeah, it's a complete wreck, Punjab is, yeah. Tell our story, what went on. A lot of the people that we call freshies, over the last 15 years especially, when they come from India, they learn about this stuff. But they know the reality of Punjab. They don't come here because they want to come to the UK, they come here because they've got nothing there. There's no future for them. Yeah? Even if they get educated in Punjab, they have to leave Punjab to get a job. So they're like, what's the point? If we're going to leave Punjab, we're going to leave the country. Yeah? You've got people selling their whole jameen, their whole house and their whole household to come outside because it's like a last-ditch gamble in it. And that's what people are doing. But we've got to tell our story of what went on. We're still fighting this movement and freedom is going to be in Khalistan. But the thing is, we're only going to get it through that. There's no two ways about it. You're not going to get it in the federal system of India. We're not going to get freedom. But at the moment, the goal shouldn't be for Khalistan. The goal should be educate the masses, get them into Sikhi, and help them along in their lives. And then the movement will come itself from that. That's what happened pre-84. We're in a pre-84 situation in Punjab now. Yeah. So we've got the same problems: fake gurus, yeah, fake pracharaks, people going against Gur Sikhi. They're burning swoops now. That's what it's come to. It didn't happen in '84. Burning swoops, yeah. In 1984, in 3 days, yeah, there's been 200 Godare in Delhi. If we talk about the widows and stuff, 200 Godare, that's 200 swoops. If you think about it, in 3-4 days in Delhi, yeah. But now in Punjab, we're oblivious to it. There's 9-10 a month now, and we don't go. What's that Akaal for? What's that Jathadars for? What are Pracharaks for? What are they there for? If Maharaji Biyadbi is happening, what are our Dals for? What are our Hangs for? What are our Faujan for? If Biyadbi of your Guru's happening, your Guru starts getting ripped, yeah, and no one can go and deal with that, what are we going to do? Yeah? We support people like that ourselves, so we know where we're talking from, and our cars get smashed, our saying get arrested, they go to Morcha, they do these things, and but it's very small, very few, far between. But the people who got power in Punjab and the Jathebandi and Shromi Committee and people like that, they couldn't care less. So it's got to come from us as well. We've got to do something on that. So that's up to us. Anyway, I've gone on and on. Any questions? Any questions? Yes? No? Depressed you all?
Yeah, so at the beginning you said that Jinnah said he'd give the Sikhs a welfare state if we join up with Pakistan. So I was just wondering if there's any, like, if you have any sources for this, like, further reading about that.
If you just search anything on the internet about Sikhs and things, you'll find it. Because that's a general thing. To this day, all Pakistan say that to us when we go to Pakistan. They all say it to us, go to Sri Lanka, but it's easy for them to say, if you not rather than they, we don't know if they would have done the same to us. You know what I mean? We can't say that. But you'll find that generally. It's not a hard thing to find. Yeah? What they'll talk about is like closed room discussions with Jinnah and stuff like that. But you'll find it generally quoted everywhere. It's not a hidden thing, you can find it easily. So that won't be problematic to find that. Go on.
Just based on what Bajit there said, there's a book by Sangat Singh, he's called Sikhs in History. Okay. He gives a lot of references around that time about some of the propaganda, false independence as well, in terms of anti-Sikh propaganda just after 47 happened, in terms of Mohandas Gandhi, what he says about the Sikhs, about there being fanatics, about promises being broken, that kind of thing. Even recently they had the partition stuff on TV. BBC were doing all the documentaries. It's interesting that even in that, the Sikhs, even today, were being portrayed as extremists. So there's already, for example, there's already violence happening against Hindus, against Muslims all across Northern India. But then it was a Sikh extremist that took it to another level by attacking a train where 4 people died. So 50 people got burnt in the cinema in Lahore. That was just militants. But Sikhs killed 4 people on a train, and these are extremists who are dangerous. And that rhetoric, that labelling is still going on even today, when everyone knows the history, but even then they drop that kind of word in and mislabel Sikhs.
Because even the partition line, straight through the middle of Punjab, and then 1 million people died in partition violence. And if you look at it, it's instigated by the British. Because what the British did during the 1930s, they on purpose started communal violence between Sikhs, Hindus and Muslims. The Jan could get like a pig's head or something thrown to a mosque to get the Muslims to react against the Hindus. So they started that, but then when you draw a line and people have to move houses and stuff, and you already instigated a bit of it anyway.